Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a max effort lower day, but a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below, be greatly appreciated. So, things are definitely tough while cutting, but I'm going to stick it out because I know I need to get a lot leaner. I went ahead and tried a really narrow stance squat today just to see where I'm at, and my God, that was hard with the safety bar. I hit 471. And I was hoping I could go higher, but I just flat stopped there. I'm just like, that's it. That's all I can do. But I also liked feeling that fatigue because I wanted to be fatigued going into my deadlift because I have certain meet goals I want to hit coming up. And I had a base number I wanted to hit, and I didn't want it to be fresh. And I got basically stopped right where I wanted to on the deadlift. So I ramped up a bit and got to 565 on a deficit, which is good because my goal, I'm not trying to go crazy at the next meet, especially with me cutting, because I'm not going to stop cutting for the next meet or so. I want to get quite a bit leaner, lose more body weight, and then lean bulk up into the top of my weight class. Okay, it's kind of the goal. I need to lose a lot of body fat again. I know some people are like, you're looking pretty lean, coach. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not ripped. I'm not that lean. So we see my normal sticking point right below the knee. Once we get above it, held it fine. Really, I only care about pulling 585 at my next meet. The whole idea is not even to hit lifetime best. Obviously, at this point, it's just a PR at every meet. As long as my total goes up every meet, and I do 4 meets a year, that's kind of the goal. I'm happy with that. But some of this is, again, going to require for me to be competitive where I need to be. I've got to get leaner. Yeah, I know I'm masters too, but a lot of the rules still apply. There's some strong dudes in these weight classes still, and they're pretty stacked, right? A lot of them are shorter than me. So I have to be leaner than them. That's really my only choice. It's my only choice. Unless I want to bulk to a really heavy weight class, and I don't want to be walking around at 250 pounds. Not in my late 40s. It's just not good for health. So after the deadlifts, we did seal rows. And yep, I'm going to do a lot of focusing on seal rows. Like I said, we're going to have a real elegant solution coming up in the very near future. Make that a lot easier. I'm going to do variations to seal rows. I want to focus on them for a while instead of pull-ups. Because if I want more bicep, I can just keep doing my dumbbell curls, which I will. Again, I just know that, strict rows, they just do so much for my deadlifting. Probably do a lot for my bench too. So I need to focus on them. Now, even though I did that really narrow stance squat and it just destroyed my quads, I've realized, I definitely probably don't want to do narrow stance at meets. I probably do need to power squat. Just that fleeting idea I had because, these narrow stance stuff felt so good. But that's kind of the whole point, with conjugate. I can test all of it. We test all of it, see where you are. I'm probably better off power squatting. I just got to be careful of bar placement. But it doesn't mean I can't do volume work like this with the really narrow stance ass to grass. Why? Because I need my quads to grow. Keep in mind, my training is so posterior chain focused. I don't care about my squatting movements, building my, posterior chain and hip extensor muscles that much. As long as it contributes some, and all squats do. And if I blow my quads up, I need movements like this to really hit the quads. And so I want that super deep range of motion. And the quads will still carry over to my power squats, even though, we know all the reverse hypers and glute ham raises and stuff are what's going to give me the posterior chain for that stuff, which affects bar path tremendously. Quads are still going to help. Just like my big quads help me off the bottom of the deadlift. So it's also easier in theory for recovery, and I notice that. My tendons do feel a little better from that. Also probably largely due to the fact that we're using a lighter weight because I'm going so much deeper with the quads and with the amount of knee bend. I'm forced to use a lighter weight, so I'm going to build that weight up, progressively overload it. But by that same token, it's very, very easy on the recovery because number one, it's a belt squat. Number two, I'm now forced to use a lighter weight due to those ranges of motion. Again, chasing hypertrophy. We do the max work to get stronger. right? We need all the hypertrophy to raise our strength ceiling. Again, you want to be the leanest, most stacked guy in your class. It means I need to maximize muscle mass, minimize body fat. And that includes saying, hey, what can I do to get my quads to grow? What am I looking at with stimulus to fatigue, range of motion, all those things? Before people say, but we can use the heavier weight. Yeah, but that's what max effort work is for. And we're going to do max effort work 2 days every week, the start of 2 workouts. That covers it. Outside of that, my training needs to be about getting big and getting more explosive. And again, a lot of our technical aspects and our speed strength is handled by the speed work. Okay, those are critical parts. And again, I always remind people we have to separate these things. Quit worrying about the carryover and just train each modality to get the best out of it. In other words, max effort work, people start saying, well, I want to do 3 rep or 5 rep maxes to get more volume for more hypertrophy. Why? That's what you have all this accessory work for. That's why you have the repetition effort like I'm doing now. Get in and do heavy lifts. Heavy singles. That is what maximizes strength. Okay, that's what actualizes your strength potential, gives you the intramuscular coordination. Quit worrying about reps. Get in and hit heavy ass singles. Speed work, same thing. Get in and do the explosive stuff. Quit worrying about, I need progressive overload with it. No, just get in, stay light, get explosive, add your bands and chains. Okay? Worry about exploding through it. Worry about learning how to stay tight while you explode over and over and over. Quit worrying about the other components of it. All this hypertrophy work now, because we need to look at the max work the same way and quit worrying about the hypertrophy side of it. We need to only care about the hypertrophy side of all this accessory work. The hypertrophy and any prehab, tendons, whatever. So what do you see me doing here? Focusing on those longer ranges of motion on stuff like the belt squats, everything higher reps. Reverse hyperextension is probably a little bit different of an animal, although, the more I think about it, I might be able to make the case for the fact that maybe I do need to think about lightening it and trying to extend even further with that back. Keeping with this philosophy, I don't know. I did really well. It carried over to my deadlift so effectively, though, when I got really strong on it. So part of me wants to keep doing that, but by that same token, part of me also says maybe I need to follow the same philosophy and go lighter so that I can get the top of that range of motion a little harder. But the only issue with that is that's at contraction, which we don't care about. Shortened positions don't matter that much for hypertrophy. It's those long, lengthened positions. But I may experiment with it a bit and see. I might experiment with it. All I know is that the reverse hyper absolutely keeps my back ridiculously healthy, and it carries over to my deadlift enormously. I do know that no matter which way that I program it. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.